Now that I've seen Brand New Day, I'm going to give you my ranking of all 11 Spider-Man movies. Dead last place I'm going with Tasm 2. I just feel like the main plot of this movie, it just really gets derailed by the whole corporate universe building aspect. And then on top of that, none of the subplots for this movie work. Like the whole Richard Parker mystery, Electro's whole motivation was just rushed, and then that sudden illness that Harry Osborn gets. They try to cram all of these subplots together to tease a Sinister Six movie that never even happened. And I really feel like it does kind of undermine Gwen Stacy's death, which is the most emotional scene in any Spider-Man movie. But I will say, Andrew Garfield definitely deserved better. This is a little controversial, but slightly above it, I got Spider-Man Homecoming. Listen, I love Spider-Man, but I cannot get over the whole Iron Man being his mentor thing in a Spider-Man movie. It just doesn't hit for me. Like the whole plot revolves around Peter trying to prove himself to being an Avenger instead of learning how to be responsible on his own. And even though the twist with Michael Keaton as Vulture, that was some brilliant storytelling, that kind of storytelling just does not follow through with this movie for me at all. Number 9 is Far From Home. Now, I don't really like the fact that he's not in New York, and I really feel like Peter is reacting to the plot of this movie instead of being like the driving force behind it, like how a Spider-Man movie should be. In the narrative, we're still dealing with the shadow of Tony Stark's legacy and Edith, and it really makes Spider-Man feel like an international spy instead of like your friendly neighborhood hero. But the Mysterio dream sequence that forces him to rely on his Spidey sense, that was peak. And I know I can understand the criticism of this movie. I just feel like it is the slightest bit overhated. It's kind of enjoyable. Number 8 is Spider-Man 3. I started making content a year ago, and I'll keep it a buck. I did not know how many people hated this movie, and I will say concept-wise, they took a bold step, but this movie does have a lot of flaws. Like, I do respect the whole retcon between Sandman and Uncle Ben, and it does really hit emotionally, but this movie kind of falls through with its own story, trying to balance like Harry's amnesia, introducing Gwen Stacy, and then they completely rush through the Venom symbiote corruption arc. Like, this movie has problems, but I do kind of still have a soft spot for it. Number 7 is Tasm 1. This is a darker, street-level origin story that really does rely on the chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Gwen Stacy, which does make this a really enjoyable love story for me. And I also love how Captain Stacy's promise on his deathbed is really like the anchor for this movie, for Peter choosing between his happiness or Gwen's safety. Number 6 is Spider-Man No Way Home. This movie is nostalgia bait at its core, and I have absolutely zero problem with that. Love the way they play with the multiverse in this, and I love how they lead us into Aunt May's tragic death and the final memory wipe spell that really strips Spider-Man back to his comic book roots. Number 5 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Some of y'all might think that's a little bit low, but it's still in my top 5. This is the most cohesive passing of the torch story in animation. I love how this movie uses Peter B. Parker and Miles' Uncle Aaron to really push him into his own unique identity, and it leads us into that iconic leap of faith scene. Love this movie. Number 4 is Spider-Man Brand New Day. I really love this movie. I think this is Tom's best, and I will say I love how they balance that isolated, grounded tone from like the first 2 Raimi films in this one, and we took away his start gear and left him forgotten by the world, and now he's battling his trauma that's manifesting into this arachnid mutation, and no global stakes on the line, at least until the post-credit scene, I feel like, but just a street level battle with him versus the Department of Damage Control and Jean Grey. And I love how this movie does end up rewarding his loneliness with that little glimmer of hope at the end when Ned remembers his secret handshake. I could be interpreting that wrong, but that's what I got from it. Number 3 for me is Spider-Man 2. This is some people's number 1, and I completely understand. I love the way that they tie in Peter's stress with his powers fading away, and Doc Ock is a really tragic villain who relied on getting the redemption arc instead of just a fist fight, which I really love. No issues about this movie. I just like the other two just a little bit more. Top 2 but 2 is Across the Spider-Verse. This is just a masterclass in storytelling. This movie takes us on a multiversal chase all the way to Miles rebelling against the entire Spider Society just to try to save his father. Peak. But the top 1 best, I'm still giving that to Spider-Man 1. I still think this is the best origin story for any superhero ever. Going from Uncle Ben's death all the way to Peter rejecting Mary Jane at the funeral just to protect her, to Willem Dafoe's performance as Green Goblin. Like, everything about this movie is just so perfect to me. It has to be number 1. But you know, I hope you're not stupid, and I hope your brand is really brought it to a chance to whip it if you're mine. But let me know which Spider-Man movie is your favorite since Brand New Day came out. Anti out. Peace.